So I'm not saying you will survive unscathed, but I am saying that you will survive. I can tell you for free. And you will learn a new way to be. You will learn a new way to live that you never would have thought of before, because this thing that you were afraid of being without was there. So you didn't have to think about it. But your brain is your ally. It will figure out a way to give you a life that is still good and a life that you can still enjoy if you give it the chance to. So, emotionally strong people are emotionally available people, are people who can go in no matter how deep. They can dive in because they have learned the skill of swimming through the oceans of their emotions. And they know that they will get to shore because the only way to dry land is to swim through. You can't walk around it. And emotionally unavailable people are stuck on one side, unable to get to the promised land, as it were, because they never learned how to swim through. And is the swim hard? Yes. Daunting? Yes. Are there days where you're going to feel like, listen, I'm going to die, it's too much? Yes. I'm not going to tell you that you're not going to feel that. You will. You will feel it and you'll continue swimming. When you rest small, you continue until you get to shore, because that's where you're supposed to be. So a few things have come to mind and I want to add them before we close up, this segment. And this is speaking to your particular situation in terms of like the relationship you have. I'm not going to try to counsel you as per the relationship, but a few thoughts came to mind and I want to ask you this. Clearly, you feel very strongly for this man. You feel very strongly for him. He is someone who is very important to you, and that's good. But I need to ask you something. Does this man feel the same way about you as you feel about him? That's an important thing. I think that if we ask ourselves hard questions sometimes, it will help us see things clearly, a little bit more clear, a little more clearly, and help us take some decisions that we're running away from taking. So, does this man feel the same way about you as you feel about him? Is he suffering as much as you are suffering in terms of like the situation that you are both in? It's important because if you are the only one who is holding this relationship up, you know that you're not in a relationship, right? Just need to tell you. So you're not in a relationship if you're the only one holding the relationship up. A relationship is something that is supposed to be held up by both people. And you can't always be 50-50. Sometimes you will be 80-20, sometimes you'll be 60-40, but at no time will you be 100-0. That's not the way a relationship works. If somewhere deep down inside of you, you know that you are the one who sends this relationship more than this man, then deep down inside you, you know that you have more to lose or more at stake. He might be the one with the bigger career or whatever, but you have more to lose because you are more invested than he is. And I'm going to guess, and I'm very open to being wrong, that the bulk of the pain you're feeling is the knowing that he can walk away from you, but you're not sure if you can walk away from him. And so you are clutching on tightly for dear life and you don't want to let go. And that is what is causing you this mammoth pain. I need you to know that none of us are in control of anything. Just, take it or leave it. You don't have to agree, but none of us are in control of anything. Probably the only thing that we control is what we eat every day, and maybe the car we drive. But the real things, like another person's will, like the sun, like the air we breathe, we're not in control. You're not even in control of whether you will wake up tomorrow or not, much less another human being. But there is an illusion of control. And I think that's the thing that we hold on to and we think, oh, we've got things handled. It's an illusion. Because when life wants to show you that, see, uncle, auntie, you don't control shit, it will happen to you in a way that you can't explain. And that's when you realize that, you've been living by some sort of grace. Now, if anything I've said is accurate, then the pain you are running away from, hate to break it to you, but you are still living with that pain. If what I've said is accurate, that somewhere deep down inside, you know that you are more into this man than he is into you. And that if push comes to shove and he has to pick between his career and you, he's going to pick his career. Or he's going to pick whatever life he has that doesn't have you in it. So can you see that you refusing to let go of this man and heal yourself, because you are at a point where your physical body is reacting to this man's presence and absence? I'm like that. I'm telling you. There's someone who, if they ever watch this video, they will know. They know that my physical body reacts to stress, reacts to pain. You will see it on my skin. You'll see it all over me. So I know that you are not lying. I know that you are not making it up. But I also know that if you are that sort of person who feels that deeply, then the responsibility is on you to control your own atmosphere, your own part, your own side of the street. Otherwise, you're going to be at the mercy of everything that everybody does, and you are going to put your own self in jeopardy. So, the pain you are running away from, you are still living with it by trying to control how this entire thing will play out. I'm telling you that you can't. And realizing that you can't control another person is your key to freedom. People will do what they're going to do. People will do what they are going to do. You cannot control another person. Someone can will themselves over to your influence. That's different. And that's what you have when you say, oh, a man is a finished man. This woman has jazzed him. The man is not she hasn't jazzed him. He has said, this is my will. I am opening up my will to your influence. So you are able, because my will is what moves me. And I have now taken that will and opened it up to your influence. So your influence is part of what moves me. And that's when we see a guy who, the women say, oh, his wife is controlling him. Or we see a woman, they say, oh, her husband is controlling her. Oh, this and that. Oh, whatever. No, it's just people who are in love enough to open up their will to someone else's influence. That's all. But I tell you this, even that man who has opened his will to your influence, or that woman who has opened her will to your influence, if there's something she doesn't want to do, she won't do it. If there's something he doesn't want to do, he will not do it. All your influence included. So I'm telling you that you can't control another person. And because the situation involves another person, you can't control how it'll play out. You can hope, you can do your part, then you let go. You let go. You cannot control life. The only thing you can control is yourself. And there are even aspects of yourself that you can't control. Not fully. My scarf keeps riding back. I don't know why. The only way, and this is like a very, it almost seems antithetical or paradoxical, that you can control life is by controlling yourself. And let me explain to you. You see, our brains, I was talking about mirroring just a few minutes ago. Life mirrors us to some extent. I believe that. I believe that the way you see life is the way life sees you. I'll give you an example. So you and me can be in the exact same situation. Let's say we are coming back from work, you're driving in your car, I'm driving in mine, it's traffic, backed up traffic, it's hot, we're tired, we've both worked 8 hours or however many hours people work in offices, we've both had long days, we are both in traffic. Now, a person who is given to anger is going to be boiling behind their steering wheel or sitting in the back of the car if they're having it drive, if they're being driven. They are going to, this traffic is happening to them. This traffic is an affront to them. This person, and then the person who is not given to anger is going to be like, oh God, I'm tired. Oh God, this traffic, when is it going to be over? But they're going to find something else to entertain. They're going to find something else to entertain themselves. I tell you, I'm tired. Oh God. To entertain themselves. And it will take their mind right away from the discomfort that they are feeling or that's going on around them, because that's who they are as a person. So the exact same situation, life will give you a different experience of it, or will give different people different experiences of the same or different different versions of the same experience depending on who that person is. So if you want to control life, essentially, you have to become the version of yourself that is the outcome that you want. Oh, I hope that makes sense. You have to become the version of yourself that you are most comfortable with, that you like, that you enjoy, that is not bashed and battered by other people's actions. And then, by some sort of magic, it would seem, life begins to mirror that back to you. But to think that you can control life from the outside, it won't happen. You go in here, and you look at yourself, and you look at yourself thoroughly, and you decide, who do I want to be? Who will I be if this man never comes around? Am I going to be unhappy? If you're going to be unhappy because this man never comes around, you're going to be unhappy for some other reason. Your happiness is not hinged on another person. Your happiness is an inside job. And when you are happy on the inside, life gives you things to be happy about on the outside, even amidst the worst pain. Believe me, I am surprised that I'm able to do anything with my life after I lost that person. I am shocked. Because I was prepared. As she's going, let me be going too. Like, what am I doing here? But life will give you who you are, even when stuff around you is going on that is not so pleasant. If you happen to be a pleasant person, you'll find some happiness. And you continue focusing on that, you will find more happiness. Holding on does not mean that you are keeping this man. It means that you are losing yourself. And that is the panic that you are feeling right now. The panic that you're feeling is your inner self, that's your real you. It's trying to alert you to the fact that you're losing yourself. It's panicking like we are getting lost, or we are going, or we are going, or wake up, wake up, wake up. So your self-concept is your understanding of yourself, your identity, who you are, who you think you are, what you think of when you think of yourself. So your self-concept is so deeply intertwined with this man. So much so that if he is not there, it feels like you are not there either. And so it's almost like a mini death almost, right? And because you are not separate from this person. When I say separate, I don't mean physically separate. I mean your self-identity, your self-concept, who you are, is not autonomous of this person, of this man. When he is with you, you exist. Instead of you guys being like this, so when he's with you, you are still here. You guys are like this. When he moves, you move. When he comes, you come. When he goes, you go. So when he is not there, it feels like you are not there. And that's why it feels like you cannot be happy without him. Love is good, but it is not codependent. And it sounds like there is a bit of codependency happening here. We will do another episode about codependency, but in the meantime, look it up. It is not him that is affecting you this deeply. It is you crying out to yourself about you not being anchored within yourself that is causing these physical uproars inside of you. I'm going to wrap up this segment by saying there is nothing that you cannot live without. Trust me. There is nothing that you cannot live without. The only things we cannot live without are the things we came and met here, like oxygen, water, food, community, things like that. You can't survive without air. We really can't. We can't survive without the sun. We can't survive without water. And I'm not trying to be obtuse. I'm trying to pull your mind out of the state of helplessness that it's falling into. There is a strength that will rise up inside you when you start to believe that you can survive without this person in your life, even if you love them deeply. Love is not an excuse for you to be harmed. That you love a person is no grounds for you to live in a state of emotional, mental, physical, financial, or any other kind of harm. I'm not saying when things get bad, you dip out and you run away immediately. No, but I am saying that there is the kind of harm that is bad for you. And when it is chronic, you need to know that you can love this person and still live because you love yourself more. I am not saying that you should let go of this man, but I am saying you should put some of that energy that you put into him, some of that energy that you have put into keeping this relationship afloat, seemingly single-handedly. I don't know how much he's doing. But if it is single-handedly, if you are carrying this or holding this up by yourself, then you need to take some of that energy and use it to hold your own self. Take some of that energy and hold on to yourself. Use that energy as an anchor that will weigh you down and keep you down to the floor so you don't float away wherever this man goes. No one is holding you down. No one is anchoring you at the moment. And each of us, it is our responsibility to be our own anchors. Your family, your friends, your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, your community can help to hold you down sometimes. But the primary responsibility of who keeps you anchored, that comes from within. It can't come from anywhere else. It comes from within. And all of that energy that you have taken and pushed out, take some of it and put it back in. Invest it back into yourself and become your own anchor so that you are sturdy on the ground, so that you are fixed, and that when life is happening, you are not happening with life. You are steady. Life is happening, but you remain within your own frame, within the frame of your values, within the frame of your consciousness, within the frame of your understanding, within the frame of your empathy, within the frame of your own identity. And it doesn't change with every situation that comes your way. The last thing I'll say in this segment, and I'm repeating it for emphasis, is you become your own anchor in life, because you deserve to have a life that is steady. You deserve to be held, but not in the way of another person holding you. You deserve to feel your own arms keeping you, your own arms being your strength, holding you up, and knowing that no matter what happens, go as it go, I am here for myself. I will take care of myself. I will figure this shit out. I will be my own anchor, and life will not toss me up and down the place. That is an assurance that only you can give yourself. And I tell you for free, it's the best kind of assurance. That little you inside of yourself that is always so afraid of being abandoned and all those things will leap for joy knowing that finally, someone is finally here to hold us down. And it's someone that will never, ever leave. You deserve that reassurance. You're the only one who can give it to yourself. And I hope that you do. Here are a list of suggestions. Cry. It's okay. Cry. Cry about it. Cry about all of it. Cry that it happened. Cry that it didn't happen the way you wanted it to happen. Cry that he's not someone that is available to you. Cry for the love that you have. Cry about all of it. Cry about the shame that you feel because this happened. Cry about if this is a situation where he's someone who is married, if you feel guilt, cry about it. Cry about the fact that you are stuck in a relationship that you have said looks like it's going nowhere. Cry. Let it out. Go to your room, lock your door, and wail. Let that pain finally pass through you and out of you. Don't be afraid of your tears anymore. It doesn't make you unstable. It doesn't make you weak. You are a human being. If you were not meant to be a human being, you would have come here as a goat or a tree or a stone. You didn't. So don't act like you're a stone. Cry. If he sees you crying, let him see it. But most importantly, let yourself see you crying. And then you understand or begin to understand that, wait, I didn't now die. The depths of this pain, okay, it's deep, but I didn't die. So cry about all of it. Number 2, ask yourself why you haven't been able to do this before. Now that you have allowed yourself to cry, now that you have started to let yourself feel your emotions and express those emotions, talk with yourself. Ask yourself, why has it taken, or why does it take such a gargantuan push from the pain inside me to get me to the point where I cannot stop crying? You are not broken, but that soda bottle, the pressure in it is pushing it out. And if you won't open that cover so that it can pour out, it will push the cover open or burst the bubble. But the thing inside must come out one way or the other. And that is what is happening to you. This cry, you're unable to stop crying, and it's confusing you. The bottle has burst. So your focus now is no longer on trying to keep the bottle sealed. That bottle's broken, baby. Let it flow. Let it flow. Okay. Number 3, take all the answers that you have gotten and flip them. If crying makes you feel weak, find out where that messaging came from. Why do you feel weak because you're crying? Why does crying give you such negative emotions? And where did that messaging come from? Who put that idea in your head? Why were you made to feel like crying was for weaklings? Try to trace your way back. Who put that idea in your head? Why was it put there? When was it put there? How long has it been there? Now take yourself back to that event or time in your life when this belief was being formed and address the person who made you feel that way. This is a mental exercise, and you might feel silly doing it, but do it anyway. Don't do it in the privacy of your room. If it was your mother that berated you when you cried, talk back to her and say, Mommy, there's nothing wrong with crying. Mommy, there's nothing wrong with me. Don't tell me to stop crying. Daddy, there is nothing wrong with me. What my point is, begin to recondition your mind around your emotions. No one is in charge of you anymore. You are not a child anymore. You are now an adult. You can tell yourself what is right and what is wrong. You can tell yourself what you are allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. And if you want to cry, fix your mindset around vulnerability. Number 4, do not apologize ever again. The next time you cry, for whatever reason, not just this situation, for anything, you see a movie that you like, it makes you cry. You see a beautiful picture, it makes you cry. You hear a beautiful song, it makes you cry. For whatever reason, the next time you cry, do not apologize ever again. Don't apologize for your tears. They were given to you for a reason. If you were not supposed to be able to cry, you wouldn't be able to do so. Stop apologizing for showing up as the human being that you were created to be. If you hear yourself saying, oh, I'm sorry, stop immediately. Stop it now. There is nothing wrong with you crying. There is nothing wrong with you for being a human being that feels things. You are not stronger or better than the people who actually express their feelings. In fact, you're at a disadvantage because the freeways of their minds are free and moving. The traffic is flowing. It's going in and out. There's a lot of stuff going on there, but it's moving. But yours has traffic that has backed up for miles and miles and miles. Everybody's horns are honking. Nothing is moving. It's a nightmare. So free up your freeway and let your mind be open and free and flow. When the anger comes, feel it, let it out. When the sadness comes, feel it, let it out. And continue moving. Never apologize for crying, ever again. There is nothing wrong with you for crying. And there is nothing wrong with you for crying about this situation. All right? Okay. Thank you all so much for coming to spend this time here with me. Pain is not always the villain. Our bodies were created so well that they can handle the pain even when it comes like a flood. We were created and designed so well that we can handle pain. As long as we equip ourselves to process that pain properly, we will be all right. I hope these thoughts have been somewhat helpful for you. And if they have, I ask that you please share them with anyone who you think might need it. And come back to this video whenever you feel like you need some encouragement. It's here for you. I'm here for you in this way. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for being here with me today. If you have a story that you would like to share, please write us at bambaezled@gmail.com. Bambaezled is spelled Bambaezled. But by now, I'm sure you guys already know that. Send in your stories and we'll happily take a look at them and work on them for these episodes. Your stories are helping people. They are, I promise you. I will one day be able to share like DMs and things like that when I have the permission to do so, but they're helping people. So keep them coming. I have to say that Bambaezled is not, this show is not a substitute for professional medical advice. Please, if you need to talk to a therapist or you need to get mental health advice, please speak to your healthcare practitioner. On this show, we have discussions, I share my opinions, and I listen to yours, and we exchange that energy in a bid to help one another grow and learn from our experiences. That's it, all right? So please, this show is not a substitute for professional medical or mental health advice. Please do not treat it as such, all right? You know what time it is? Sign off with me. In life, we can always do better or we can do worse. Let us try to find ourselves in the former more than we are in the latter. Stay safe out there in these relationship streets. Make sure that you are not bamboozling or being bamboozled by they. I will see you again in the next episode. Until then, please let love guide you always. Bye for now.